Alright, second half here. Alright, subject of this segment will be, it's going to be a little bit of let's call it house cleaning in the Democratic Party. Particularly these two. This is North Dakota Senator, Democratic Senator Heidi Heitkamp, and West Virginia Democratic Senator Joe Manchin. Both of whose most recent accomplishment in the Senate has been to vote for the confirmation of a climate change denier, sworn enemy of the EPA, as the head of the EPA. Sounds like a great idea. I mean, why didn't I think of that? You put someone who wants nothing to do with the EPA in charge of it. That'll fix the problems. Hang on. Getting thirsty. Okay. So, I did a little more digging into these two. And okay, well, why is it that in a confirmation vote where even a Republican voted no, why did these two vote for him? And basically, here's the answer I got. These are two senators who supposedly vote a lot in favor of Republicans and conservative issues, supposedly because, they're in conservative states, and the big fear is that, if they're too liberal, they won't get reelected. Then what's the point? What is the point of having Democrats that won't vote in favor of Democrat issues? I mean, yeah, we have two more people with a D next to their name in the Senate, but they're fucking worthless if that's what they're going to do. And I've looked into their voting background, and there's one or two things okay, they've kind of lean more Democrat, a little more liberal on in the past. But oh boy, do these two love coal and oil. They have never done anything to vote against coal or oil or energy production. Heidi Heitkamp has actually been quoted as saying, "Drill baby drill," in response to the Keystone XL pipeline, which she was totally for. She's also for the Dakota Access Pipeline. Is in favor of that. Some of her top donors are Berkshire Hathaway, who's Warren Buffett's company. A lot of times looked to by the left as the good billionaire. Well, Berkshire Hathaway owns more stock than anyone else in Phillips 66, which is one of the major investors of the pipeline. One of her top donors. Another top donor of hers is the Hess Corp. Their thing is moving around oil. Guess who is building their own personal little branch of the Dakota Access Pipeline to move their oil through? The Hess Corp. So not only... and that's the big problem I have with Democrats like this. Not only do they have voters that are a little more on the conservative side, they also have corporate donors who are a lot more on the conservative side. This guy's fought against EPA regulations. So is she for certain situations, but to a lesser extent. These are Republicans. Make no mistake, they may not have a D next to their name, but they are fucking Republicans. Alright? They are dinos. I believe it is. Democrat in name only. And really, they need to go. Now, I know that's That's the argument, but they're in conservative states. If they have to act like Republicans, because if they acted liberal, they'd lose their seat to a Republican. Well, here's my issue with that kind of thinking, alright? If they're not going to work for and vote for progressive or liberal reforms, then what's the point in having them? There are two main issues right now, election-wise, alright? One is regaining control of the House and the Senate so we can kind of reduce the damage that the Trump administration can do, at least for the second half of his first term. And the other issue is that and that's a valid point and something we need to do. But really, another issue that we have right now as a party, as progressives in America right now, is that we need to send a crystal fucking clear message to establishment Democrats, to senators and representatives like this, that their days are numbered. It gives us a couple extra seats with a D, names with D's next to them on the list. But, what needs to happen in this country, what the country wants, is things to actually be changed for the better. Is for our politicians to actually do something for the people that elected them. And people like this aren't going to do it. All right, and we're not gonna get that change that we need with people like this in office. Hell, here's the problem with the thinking of the establishment, media and Democratic Party in general. Here's an article I came across about Joe Manchin. The article was actually titled, "The Left Should Leave Joe Manchin Alone." And basically, the point that the article made is that, okay, he's in a red state, and if he doesn't vote with conservatives, he could lose his seat. And his votes that his votes in favor of Trump's shit cabinet are essentially meaningless because the Democrats don't have the votes to deny them anyway. Well, see, that's the thing, though. If Democrats like this are scared to vote in favor of progressive policies and changes now, when it is symbolic, what's going to happen when it can actually count? If we were actually able to wrestle control of the House and Senate away from the Republicans, but these two, or anyone else like them, ends up holding back the work. Because, they don't want to offend their conservative voters by looking too liberal. Then we're back at friggin' deadlock with nothing happening. And I get it. It's a complex issue because you do have a lot of Republicans, a lot of conservative voters who really, if these people voted in favor of liberal or progressive agendas, would want them out of office. But see, that's the thing, and that's sort of a different. It's kind of a different part of the whole issue. But it is something that needs to be considered. And really, I live in a deeply red state, okay? I live in freaking Texas. Alright? And it's sort of I'm kind of behind in hostile territory, behind enemy lines in the conservative stronghold. But here's the thing, and that's something I've noticed with dealing with the conservative American. They're not bad people. It's a thing that it seems like a lot of people kind of take that for granted that, okay, well, they're all racist, they're against gay marriage, they don't want Obamacare, they want also. No, it's not necessarily that. Granted, there are definitely some racists. Granted, there are some who, like, I don't know, are primarily against Obamacare because it was, or the Affordable Care Act because of Obama, and for no reason, for example, the fact that more people actually approve of the Affordable Care Act than Obamacare, even though they're the same thing. But the main reason a lot of these people are conservative is because they've basically been, like, just... It's not because, like, they have some kind of... Alright. The reason that a lot of these people are so against progressive policies is not because of some, like, fundamental objection to, I don't know, having healthcare or clean water or a living wage. It's because of, like, years of misinformation and lies crammed down their throats from the right, followed by fucking nothing from the left. And that's part of it. I mean, hell, part of it is just that. It's PR. If this guy in West Virginia wanted to go and vote for and push single-payer health care, he could. And if they had an actual plan, they had something he could push and could get out there to his constituents and effectively get the word out and get that information out there that it is a good system and it is something that we should be going for. You could win a lot of those people over, but they don't want to try because, oh, well, we're Democrats in a conservative area, so we got to vote Republican. No, okay, those days are done. All right, Joe and Heidi, those days are finished. The days of being funded by oil companies and coal companies and voting Republican while, being able to call yourself a Democrat are over. So either shape up, get out, or we'll throw you out. By the way, anyway, that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Links in the description below. See you next time.